Well, dipping out of sports, Cape Town commuters were caught up in traffic chaos early this morning. This as protesters burnt debris, closing the N2 highway near the airport, leading into the city. Police presence has been increased on the N2 leading to the city, and police vehicles could be seen patrolling that road. Protesters were venting their anger over candidates chosen to represent them in the local government elections. They torched 2 buses in the same area on Wednesday. Criminals brandishing knives and a replica gun took advantage of the situation and robbed stranded motorists as well. Let's get an update. We're now joined by ANN7's Cape Town correspondent, Kevin Brunt, who joins us live from Cape Town. Good morning to you, Kevin. Just talk us through the current situation on the N2 leading into Cape Town CBD. What's the current situation?
A very good morning to you, Abigail, and good morning to our viewers as well. Well, havoc on our road here in Cape Town, coming in on the N2 towards the Cape Town CBD as protesters in the early hours of this morning around 5, 6 o'clock. It is still dark at that time. Took the violent protest action, starting burning rubble there in the proximity of the Borchards Quarry off-ramp and airport approach road. It's just situated next to the airport here in Cape Town, and that is the same modus operandi that they followed on Wednesday evening, and we believe that the incident on Wednesday has to do with some of the residents not being happy with one of the ward councillors chosen for the ANC here in the Western Cape, and then they took to protest action there in that area. But yes, this morning the same procedure followed. The burning of rubble on Wednesday evening, however, they burned 2 buses completely. Today they luckily just got away with burning a few rubble pieces. So, and that also caused a lot of pressure on the other main roads here in Cape Town, as a lot of the motorists now had to find alternative routes to get to work. And combined with a severe rain predicted this morning already, we had a certain extent of downpour here in Cape Town. So combined with that, it added a lot of pressure on our roads here. So traffic officials are out on the N2 patrolling that specific area, and we believe that they will remain there throughout the course of the weekend. There we go.
Kevin, it sounds like it's a windy day there in Cape Town. We do apologize for that audio issue there. But Kevin, can you just talk us through what seems to be the bone of contention here? What is the issue? Why the protests?
Word coming from the City of Cape Town officials, JP Smith, he's the MACO member for safety and security. He indicated earlier on that this is purely got to do with a political issue, that some of the residents within the community there of Barcelona, that is the informal settlement there, quite close to the N2, they are unhappy with some of the candidates that the African National Congress put forward as some of the ward councillors now for the upcoming local government elections. And that is why these residents now took to this violent protest action, I beg your pardon, and voicing their concern in this manner. So what the City of Cape Town feels, and we obviously know that they are DA-run, feels that the ANC should sort out as the issues that they have within that community there. However, word coming from the ANC is that specific members of specific residents within that community try to hijack the local government elections as well as the campaigning. We know that the ANC has been quite visible over the past few days in the communities here in Cape Town campaigning, and the word coming from them is that they distance themselves from this type of violent protest action, saying that law enforcement authorities need to take full control of the situation and that perpetrators need to be arrested. However, they still say that these residents cannot destruct and break down and burn down in this manner and then say that they are unhappy with regards to the councillor that has been chosen for the ANC in that community, that there are structures, however, how they can address that. So we already see now in the build up to the 3rd of August, a lot of dynamics playing out between the different communities here, and we also see how the political parties are now positioning around the specific issues that we now are coming to address, and that these residents feel that the politicians only come to the communities when it is election time, and they feel that there should be a continuous interaction coming from the political figures here in the Western Cape. Abigail?
Kevin, any idea as to whether there is one specific political party attached to these protests?
At the moment, no. It's still unclear exactly to which political party some of these protesters belong to, because as I already indicated to you earlier on, that this protest action starts here very late in the evening, going towards the early hours of the morning. And that is obviously so that the perpetrators can have ample time to run away, and it's obviously dark, so it's very difficult for law enforcement authorities to spot them and to see where exactly they run towards. So come daybreak and when the sun eventually rises, then that protest action subsides, and then the law enforcement authorities remain on the ground to try and clear the surrounding areas or the affected areas as quickly as possible. We've seen this morning as well. We made our way towards the N2 and it was still dark, but on our arrival then, because the traffic combined with the severe weather conditions that we experienced here, we arrived on the scene and found several police vehicles still in the area there, and we believe that they will remain there throughout the course of the day, leading into the evening in particular, and as they have on Wednesday evening as well, when the two buses there were burned down. But as I've already told you, also that we can now already see the dynamics coming out as we're going towards the local government elections, and one can only, guess what still lies ahead, as there's still a lot of campaigning that will be done, and there's still a lot of contestation between the various political parties here in the province.
Kevin, just lastly, and in wrapping up, you did mention that the ANC has distanced themselves from these protests. Have you heard from the Democratic Alliance? What are they saying?
Well, at the moment, the Democratic Alliance basically states that infrastructure that's being provided for all the residents here in the Cape Town communities cannot simply be broken down by one particular party feeling the need or seeing a gap where they can then voice their grievance with one of the ward councillors, and we believe that is why the protest action initially started out on Wednesday evening. Because obviously there's a shortage of buses now, and obviously the traffic, you should have seen the long backlog of traffic that we experienced here on the N1. Cape Town basically have two main highways, the N1 as well as the N2 leading into the CBD, and obviously when the N2 gets blocked, or as it was totally blocked off this morning, motorists were then urged to make their way either towards the N1 that completely became backlogged, because it is not usual that so much traffic that you will experience in the morning going into the CBD. So that is basically the dynamics that's unfolding here. And obviously, these protesters know the effect that their protest action will have by shutting down the N2. They will basically cause some sort of shutdown, or causing a lot of people to be late at work, and obviously causing a lot of frustration. On social media also, we saw an outpouring of frustration coming from the motorists with regard to this issue. On Wednesday evening, the N2 once again also shut down, eventually being opened here towards 11, 12 o'clock the evening, as protest action once again took place there in that area.
Kevin, just quickly, what's the current situation on the N2? Is it safe for motorists to use at this time?
It is completely safe at the moment now, Abigail, because as I've also stated, there's at least about 10, 12 Metro Police officials joined by SAPS officials on the ground there. They are visible in that area, and motorists can clearly see, but there's a certain section or specific section of the N2 that's also quite dark, and we've had instances, or we've been addressed in the past also by the traffic police officials here on their plan of lighting the N2 much more efficiently, as we've heard also a number of smash and grab incidents taking place in that area, or motorists simply being attacked or trying to change a flat tire. We've had reports of perpetrators deliberately throwing objects into the road so that the driver can then puncture his tire, forcing him to then pull over, and the moment he tries to change that tire, he is being robbed of his possessions there. So the N2 is notorious as a danger zone here, especially next to the airport side in the proximity of the Khayelitsha area as well. So there is a lot of police officials on the ground there. So we do believe that they will remain there to ensure the safety, at least, of the motorists, and obviously to prevent further protest action from taking place there.
Well, thank you very much, Kevin, for the update. We'll check in with you throughout the day to get further updates there. NN7's Cape Town correspondent, Kevin Brunt, coming to us on the phone line there from Cape Town, stating and just updating us with regards to the violent protest that was seen on the N2 highway into Cape Town's CBD. We also do know that on Wednesday, 2 buses were burnt. Kevin saying at this time, the N2 highway into the CBD is safe for now, but there's a large police presence there as well. We will keep you up to date.